frigid outside and a fight inside. Nebraska looks for the upset against Minnesota here in Lincoln as we come inside the Bob Devaney Sports Center at John Cook Arena for a conference battle in women's gymnastics. Hi everyone, I'm Evan Heider, excited to bring you a Big Ten matchup between the Cornhuskers and the number 14 Golden Gophers. Both programs hit season-high team totals last week, and don't forget, the duel matters. Conference win-loss has a direct impact on seeding for the Big Ten championship later this season. I'm excited to be joined today by a familiar face to Skur Nation, the reigning 2025 Big Ten Uneven Bars champion, as well as world bronze medalist. The list goes on. It is Emma Spence. Emma, excited to have you here today. A familiar venue, but a bit of a different view for you.
Yeah, no, it's great to be here today.
Both teams are going to be focused on momentum. Talk about their focus.
Yeah, we got to speak with both coaches before the meet today, and they are both looking for the same thing, really focusing on execution. They have had a couple meets under their belts now. They know that they can go out there and hit those routines. Now it's really about going out there and hitting those routines to the best of their abilities when the pressure is on.
A few key individuals that we should keep our eye on. Let's start with the Golden Gophers.
Yes, so for Minnesota, we have Gianna Gertis. She is a multiple-time Big Ten gymnast to watch, coming back this season as a grad student after taking a year off and falling in love with the sport again. She's come back with so much passion and gratitude, and she's been making a big impact on the team so far this season. We also have Ava Stewart, a two-time Canadian Olympian, a steady and confident presence on this Gopher team. She's just getting started this season too. Coming off a really successful freshman year last year, we are expecting some great gymnastics coming from her today.
Great to hear about the Gophers. Let's talk about who we're looking for with the Cornhuskers.
From Nebraska, we have Whitney Jenks, a solid and consistent all-arounder for the Huskers last year and every meet so far this season. She is a very reliable and consistent competitor and always pulls through for the Huskers. If there's one thing that I can tell you about Whitney, it's that she has grit and has persevered through every challenge thrown at her, and we are anticipating some strong routines coming from her today. We also have Isabel Saikon. She has made her all-around debut this season for the Huskers, competing all-around at every meet so far. Isabel is such a leader of this team, bringing a calm and confident energy to her performances, and she has been improving every week, and I'm really looking forward to watching her out there today.
We are inside John Cook Arena at the Bob Devaney Center getting a look at Minnesota head coach Jenny Hansen. This is her 12th season at the helm. We talked to her earlier this week, and she is excited for how this team can build, and it starts here. On the other side of things, getting a look now at Nebraska head coach Heather Brink. It's her 8th season as the head coach here. It's all about doing their job for the Huskers today. She talks about do it in the moment when you need to do it. The rest will take care of itself. Head into this first rotation, getting a look at Nebraska's competition order on vault. And the first competitor there, it's Karis Griffin, a freshman, last meet out, had a 9.675, but has peaked at a 9.75 so far this season. She'll look to get the Huskers started in a big way, start an exciting string of vaults in this first rotation. Big Yurchenko full there, Emma. Talk about that body position as she left the table.
Yeah, well, on vault, you're really looking to have a solid and strong body position as you're coming off the table. You see here, she keeps her legs pretty straight and her chest is a little bit low on the landing there, but she corrects it on that slight hop back.
Have to commend Griffin on the flat hips as she approached the landing. You did mention there a little loose form in the legs, but a solid start from the freshman for the Huskers. And on the other side of things, we move from a freshman to a graduate student. It's Gianna Gertis. We mentioned off the top, she actually took a year away from gymnastics and has rejoined this season. Getting started with a toe-on, toe-off, and that big transition to start, Emma.
A little over there on that, but she corrected it.
Archie through the overshoot, showing some grit as she winds up for the dismount.
Beautiful landing there on that full-out dismount. And she looks pretty happy about it.
Full twisting double tuck as assistant coach Sam Sherwinski is happy with that one.
That's a great start for the Minnesota team on bars.
Gianna, even through the toe point on that full twisting double tuck, noticeable attention to detail for the Golden Gophers. Karis Griffin in the books with a 9.8 leadoff. Nebraska is looking for those 49 totals across all events. It's Beckley. Excuse me, that was Peyton Peck in the 2 spot. Emma, talk about that Yurchenko full.
You know, that was a pretty nice Yurchenko full. She was a little bit crooked there on the landing. Let's see if we can break it down a little bit. She's got some good block off the table. It looks like she just was a little bit off to the side there, but overall it was a pretty controlled landing.
As a reminder, those lines are not boundaries, but they help lend the judges' perspective if there are directional issues. First score waiting still for Minnesota on uneven bars. For Peck, she'll be looking to match a 9.75 career and season best as we look at Isabella Wynn in the 2 spot. And this lineup spot was between her and her sister, Sophia Wynn. So the younger of the Wynns getting the call in this 2nd spot. Judges having a few finer details to discuss. Sometimes it takes a minute for the momentum to get going for not only the athletes, but also the judges. But Emma, invaluable experience, especially for a young athlete. This can happen at any event that you're experiencing, and just got to keep working through it. Rely on your teammates, your coaches, and your experience.
Yeah, really working to stay in the zone. It can rattle you a little bit when you have to wait longer than you expected, but there we go. Looks like she's getting started now.
Green flag is up for Isabella Wynn. First score for Gertis in at a 9.75. They'll look to build here. Great turnover in that big Tkachev release. Let's take a look at her transition after the free hip. Short on that cast. Let's see what she can do with the dismount.
Beautiful double layout. Almost got the stick there. Over-rotated a little bit.
Look at this release move. The turnover is great. That means her hips rotate backwards and away from the bar. And another look at that dismount, Emma.
Almost got that stick. A little over-rotated, but she got it.
Have to echo your sentiment on that body position in the air, completely stretched. Now moving over to Molly Peterson in the 3rd slot following Peyton Peck's 9.775.
This is Molly's debut on vault as a Husker. Beautiful Yurchenko full.
Great tight form off the table, and like you said, her debut, so that high 10 from Heather Brink means a lot.
Yep, she's got good body position there, coming off the table.
Did she crunch in a little bit there?
A little bit of a shoulder angle on the table.
Yeah, in slow motion, you can pick apart those finer details. Remember, in the minds of the judges, this is happening very fast. They're usually pretty attuned to spotting those details. The other thing I saw, she was preparing her flexed feet right before the ground. But what a way to start in the home arena, your debut vault. Great for Molly Peterson. Getting a quick look here at the current Big Ten standings. Penn State out in front 2-0, right along with Ohio State, but UCLA sitting at number 5 nationally overall, perfect in the conference as well. Quickly joining Taryn Crump in the 3rd spot for Minnesota.
Beautiful Maloney. It's immediate pack there.
Unfortunate cast over. Saw Taryn struggling on multiple cast handstands in the warm-up. No doubt she's strong, but couldn't save that one, getting things back underway, setting up for the dismount.
Beautiful finish there.
Yeah, equally great stretch position in that double layout, and zeroes in on the landing, no deduction there. An unfortunate hiccup in the third spot for the Gophers. Quickly moving back over to vault. We talked about that 49 mark. Coach Heather Brink mentioned we're a 49 team on every event. They have yet to do that in a competition yet this year. They started the season off with a huge vault rotation. We're in the top 20 nationally on the event after the first week of competition. And this is where they can differentiate themselves a little bit. This is a 10-0 start value from Reese Beckley in the fourth spot. Reese does that Yurchenko, tucked 1.5, had some directional issues upon landing. Let's take a look and see how she was with contact off the table.
Her shoulders there a little bit closed on the table, so maybe not getting the block she was looking for there. A little sideways on the landing. She did step out of bounds there too, so there will be a slight reduction for that.
Taking the risk with that 10-0 start value vault, but definitely a direction that the Huskers want to push themselves in. Up now for the Golden Gophers, it's the freshman to get things back on track, Lacey Saltzman.
Nice, Jaeger.
Aggressive through the overshoot. Let's see how she handles the dismount preparation.
Beautiful handstand coming into this dismount. Wow.
Zeroes in on the double layout landing for the freshman. In a big way for Lacey Saltzman. Last meet had a 9.825. I think that has the potential to go higher. Another look at the dismount here.
Look at that height. She knows exactly where she is in the air. You can tell based on that landing.
Slight body position shift as she hikes, closes her hips just before the landing, but leaves nothing to the imagination for the judges. Hugs from the entire coaching staff at Minnesota. Reese Beckley, 9.725, so really important here for the freshman. Tegan Shaver, an elite competitor from Canada, in the fifth spot. Tightest form on the Yurchenko full that we've seen from any Husker today. But Emma, talk about this landing. She gave a couple things away.
You can definitely tell she has a lot of power going into this vault. It's very clean, very well done in the air, but yeah, she definitely did hop back a couple times, and Tegan's very capable of doing a 1.5 on vault, so we might be able to see that later on in the season. So maybe just having a little bit of a harder time controlling that landing for the full.
Getting some competitive reps in for the freshmen. And these gymnasts, they're very type A in most cases. She knows exactly what she did, what needs to improve. And talking about the international flair, here's Emma Slevin coming in as a junior for eligibility, but it's her first season with the Golden Gophers, competed internationally for Ireland.
Yeah, no, Emma's still competing internationally as well. Looking to qualify to World Championships later this year.
Impeccable form so far, aggressive toe shoot.
Beautiful, that Maloney half. You don't see that very often in NCAA.
But this is not planned, casted over, doing her best to maintain form because this score very well could count. Strong finish with the double layout, but again, unplanned as she got back up to the high bar.
Yeah, she did save it. She didn't fall off the bar there, but definitely a little mistake there. She was able to correct it and finish with a strong dismount, but they weren't It's not what they were looking to do.
Slevin, unfortunate because last week she notched a 9-9 at home. We'll see what the judges do with that one today after Minnesota had a previous break in the lineup. They'll be fighting. Here we go with Isabel Saikon. Made her all-around debut this season, and she's been clutch for the Huskers across all four. Here we go on vault.
Very powerful Yurchenko pull there from Isabel.
Talking about the height and the distance simultaneously, both are considerations for the judges. Here's the contact.
You see she spots that landing before her feet hit the ground. She knows where she is in the air.
Powerful Yurchenko full for Saikon. They're flirting with that 49 total. We'll see if Saikon can push them over that limit. Still waiting on the number for Emma Slevin as we get a look at an athlete who Jenny Hansen noted has been undeniable for the Gophers this season on a couple events, but most notably uneven bars.
Yeah, we're looking to see a really great routine here from Jordan. Really beautiful extension and lines throughout her bar routine.
Career high of 9.975 within a whisper of a 10.
Beautiful so far. Hitting into that dismount.
Look at the tap.
Slight hop back there on that double layout, but that was a really great routine. Beautiful lines. Very confident up there during that routine.
You see why Leiden is in this anchor position, has some words of affirmation, reminders on both hands. Getting a great look at that dowel on the end of her hand grips, straight over the bar.
The team needed that there, and she came through.
Great reaction from the entire Minnesota Golden Gopher team. Look at the exhibition. This is Caitlin Barth for the Huskers. The rise, the block as we call it, off of the table with her hands, resulting in a bit of a pile on the landing, but good competitive rep.
Yeah, a little short there on that landing for sure.
Finishing on bars for Minnesota, Sophia Wynn.
Here is the other win on the Golden Gopher team. This is Sophia Wynn with her exhibition performance. Remember, 6 athletes compete on every event. The lowest number there. Teams are also allowed an exhibition slot.
Nice connection there, Jaeger. Immediate overshoot. Beautiful handstand.
Minnesota shining bright with the position on those double layout dismounts. Sophia Wynn has to be happy with that one again. Jenny Hansen has told us she has a wealth of options on almost every event for her team this year. Not something they've had in years past, but shows you that Minnesota is moving in the correct direction. Quick look at those scores in the bottom right hand of your screen. The Huskers on top right now, 9.850, and Minnesota with a 48.475. Unfortunately, their season low on bars there. The Gophers will need to rebound in the next rotation. We'll be back for more from Lincoln after this. Right now, get 3 months of Big Ten Plus for just $5.99 a month with promo code SAVE26. You get access to hundreds of live Big Ten sporting events, full and condensed replays, and highlights. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to big10plus.com and make sure to enter SAVE26 when selecting a monthly pass at checkout to take advantage of this offer. Emma, big rotation, a little bit unexpected. Talk about the bright spots for each team after this one.
Yeah, so when we look over at vault here, we have Molly Peterson and Karis Griffin with those 9.8s. Those are the scores that the team's looking to have, especially if they're trying to get that 49 above score on total on vault. We look over to bars, we've got that 9.9 from Lacey. That was a beautiful routine, especially coming after that fall. And then Jordan Linen finishing off with that 9.8 on bars.
Huge first rotation for both teams. Like I mentioned, some unexpected series of events for each team. We'll be back soon. Next Saturday, see more women's gymnastics live on Big Ten Plus when the Huskers host Ohio State and the Gophers face Iowa. Download the Big Ten Plus app today. It's always game on. Back inside, getting a look. There's a little corn plushie that were handed out upon entry for fans today, braving frigid temperatures to come in for some heated gymnastics action. They're loving it here in Lincoln. We got a look at the scores from the first rotation. Again, unexpected performance from Minnesota on uneven bars. And as we mentioned at the top, Emma, dual meets matter. Win-loss has implications for seeding of the Big Ten meet. Minnesota is going to need to push on the gas pedal for vault. Quick look at their lineup here. Coach Jenny Hansen mentioned there is potential later in the season for them to have as many as 6 Yurchenko 1.5s. Not seeing that from the Golden Gophers today, but they're going to continue to test their 10-0 start values as we saw with Nebraska. I would really zero in on Taryn Crump. Last week she had a 9.9.
No, we're talking about how they need to make up that difference here. Vault is definitely an event where they can do that with those 10-0 start values.
A little less than 0.4 of a point behind the Nebraska Cornhuskers as senior Sarah Maraw gets some last-minute advice from assistant coach Kiki Peranto. This is one of these insurance policy Yurchenko fulls. We'll see from Maraw in the leadoff. Really interesting contact with the table, Emma, as we look at this replay. Talk about her hand position here.
Yeah, as we rewatch this, we see that her hand was a little bit off to the side there, and it looks like it just slipped. And because of that slip, she didn't get the proper block she was looking for off the table and was a little bit short on that landing and a little bit off to the side as well.
Yeah, the hand on the left side of your screen, and Maraw knows immediately. But what an athlete to keep the body awareness to know where you are and safely land there. Still crunched her ankles likely a little bit. We'll keep an eye on the number for Maraw. Olivia Burns with a career high of 9.825 in the leadoff spot for the Huskers on bars.
Olivia's been very consistent on bars lately. Beautiful lines. Diego there to start her off. Beautiful overshoot to handstand. She's gearing up for her dismount here.
Quick last handstand as we join the dismount.
Wow. That is exactly what they were looking to do there to start off this rotation. You can see how happy and excited the team is. Even the crowd. Got this overshoot, look at that. Toes pointed and together, legs together. And then finishing it off with this beautiful double layout dismount, stuck hold. Look at Brian there, super excited for this start.
Assistant coach Brian Amato looks after the uneven bars event. Quickly over to their first 10-0 start value vault, Ava Stewart.
Ava Stewart, two-time Canadian Olympian. She has so much experience and brings so much to this team here. That was a beautiful 1.5.
Gets the Gophers back on track after the 9.4 of Maraw.
Body position, legs coming apart a little bit right there before the landing, but she's able to control that. bring it back in.
Exemplary distance for the vaults that we've seen so far today. Great dynamics from Ava Stewart on vault in the second spot.
Yes, she seemed very happy with that, looking to bring the team back on track after that vault.
On the other side of things, the Huskers starting in a big way behind the 9.85 of Olivia Burns.
That is huge. That is a really great start for the team.
That is actually a season and career high for the junior. Let's see how the freshman responds. It's Karis Griffin with the green flag up in the second spot.
Karis has a lot of difficulty in this bar routine. We'll see how it goes. Starting us off here now.
Brian Amato told us she used to swing on the FIG, the international bar setting, so has relearned a few of these skills.
That release right there, you don't see that often in college gymnastics. It's very difficult. She finishes with a strong dismount there. Look at that.
Dalder shoot tucked front half out. Last weekend, she struggled on that against UCLA. Great cleanup here.
This Van Leeuwen, that is very difficult, especially for someone as tall as she is. She actually raises the bar higher than the rest of the girls just because she is so tall so that she doesn't hit the floor. But she did that really well. Look at the team's very happy with that one too.
Karis Griffin had a 9.65 season high. I expect that number to raise, and here we are now to the next Yurchenko 1.5 for Minnesota. It will be from Taryn Crump. And as many of you on the Gymternet saw last week, she absolutely nailed it.
Let's see. Beautiful. Oh, she almost had that stick there. A little bit over-rotated, but it was a controlled step.
Let's take a look at the replay. Her shoulder position is crucial on that landing. Tried to dig in with her toes.
Look at that body position, though. That is exactly what you're looking for.
Shoulders just rise up ever so slightly. One tiny step forward, but great potential for Taryn Crump. 2 solid vaults 2 weekends in a row. Awesome to see for the sophomore. Karis Griffin taking a dip in the scores from the 9.85 in the books with the 9.725. But that's a season and career best for the freshman. Next up will be Isabel Saikon.
Isabel has a lot of experience on bars. She's the all-arounder competing for the Huskers tonight. Beautiful Jaeger to overshoot there.
Yeah, the distance was exemplary.
Getting her handstand. Giant full to double tuck. And she sticks it. Wow. Fun little reaction there after that dismount.
Just looks casual for Isabel Saikon.
She's like, yeah, that was nothing. So Isabel does a giant full heading into her dismount. You don't see that in every routine out there today. Very difficult. And that's heading into an immediate double tuck dismount, and she nailed it.
Great floaty double tuck, and again, that's just what she does for the junior. Minnesota's scores building, 2 9.825s in the books. Here's Emma Slevin, again, that international competitor for Ireland.
Very experienced on vault. Beautiful Yurchenko layout full.
And Emma, I have a feeling that this is one of those vaults that's going to get upgraded within the season. What a Yurchenko full.
Yeah, no, she's got that body position. She's got that block. You can tell she knows exactly where she is in the air to find that dismount or the landing. They're going to be happy with that vault.
Just one hop back for Emma Slevin. Update scores for Nebraska. You see the number coming in, a 9.825 for Saikon as Nia Kraus steps up.
Nia Kraus is very dynamic in this bar routine. Another Canadian as well on this Husker team.
Managing well, her hand almost slipped off on that transition.
She did a really good job at covering that up. Heading into this dismount. excited.
Nia Kraus in the 4th spot for the Huskers. And Emma, you wouldn't know it, but Nia is just coming back from illness. Relentless in this routine. Did it for her team.
Yeah, you can't even tell based on how that routine or performance and that celebration was.
She's got energy in the tank, and that's great news for the Huskers. They'll look to continue building. Up next will be a talented freshman for the Golden Gophers. It's Ariana Ostrom. See the career high number down there. She'll be looking to build. Slevin with a big 9.8. I would have gone higher for that Yurchenko full.
Honestly, yeah, that was really nice. Got another 10-0 start value there on vault.
Landing took her by surprise a little bit. Don't think she was quite turned over here. We're gonna get a look at some stiff legs, but keeps it under control and safe.
You see she was opened a little bit too soon, landed with that knee a little bit extended, but she was able to control that and bring it back in.
Yeah, almost an advantage to have that under rotation at that point because her shoulders were far enough back, kept that momentum off of the knee. So important lesson for Ostrom in the 5th spot. Nia Kraus in with a 9.7, had some rhythm problems and a step on the dismount. We'll see what Molly Peterson can do after a great performance on the vault in the 1st rotation.
Molly Peterson is the highest ranked Husker on bars right now. Very consistent. Molly had a season-ending injury last year and wasn't able to compete her freshman year, but she has been coming back so strong this season. Look at this dismount. Beautiful height, great control. A little step back on the dismount there, a little over-rotated, but overall that was a really clean routine.
Great full twisting double back from Peterson. Having herself a great day, enjoying the comforts of home. Here's the dismount one more time.
On vault for the Golden Gophers.
It's a double back with a full twist. Zeroes in on the landing, had a little extra momentum. Getting some finer detail points from Coach Brian Amato. And this is big. Gianna Gertis in the 6th spot. They dipped down with Ostrom's under-rotated Yurchenko 1.5. Saw her nail a beautiful one in warmups.
Gianna has so much experience in this. A little under-rotated there on that 1.5 as well, but she was able to stay in control, stay on her feet.
Definitely tentative approach from the graduate student here.
Didn't get that block she was looking for, and maybe you see she opened a little bit too soon, but she stayed on her feet.
Some directional issues over that landing line for the Gophers anchor on vault. We'll see where they net out. As we move to the anchor for the Huskers, it's Whitney Jenks.
Whitney Jenks is such a reliable competitor on bars. Look at that. Release into overshoot. And actually, Whitney's older sister, Marissa, just graduated last season from the Minnesota team.
A lot of Big Ten sibling rivalry here as Jenks sets up for the dismount.
Beautiful. Stays in control there. Maybe a little shuffle back, but that was a great routine to finish off this rotation.
Taking a big breath after that one, a sigh of relief for Jenks in the anchor spot. Peterson before her, 9.775. Let's take another look at the dismount.
Still smiling. Yeah, Whitney has been competing all around for the Huskers all year last season. This is the first season, or first meet of the season that she hasn't, but taking that week to rest and recover.
Exhibition performances now, one from each team. This is Isabella Wynn, Minnesota with a 48.775 team total. Curtis struggles a bit with a 9.60 in the anchor, so Minnesota will make it tough for themselves as we get a view of the Yurchenko 1.5, another one in the arsenal, but another under rotation here, Emma.
Yep, you see a little bit short there on the landing. It seems like the whole team has been going off to the same side.
On the other side of things, the Huskers in with a total of 48.975. Again, getting close to that 49 mark, but not quite breaking that threshold. They'll want to improve that in the last half of this meet. Whitney Jenks closed it out with a 9.8. Here's Reese Beckley.
Reese Beckley trying to get into that Maloney there. Her feet slipped on the first toe on, and a little slip there on the release, but she saves it. She does a little flip.
Always a bit disconcerting for the audience in the arena and at home. Unexpected, but puts herself in the great position as a gymnast. Again, Emma, you know it well. Always put yourself in the safest position you can, and a lot of that is landing flat on your back, just as Beckley showed us.
For sure, yeah. She was in control there. She knew what she needed to do to keep herself safe, and that's what she needed. She's going to finish off this routine now.
With some injuries to other would-be key contributors on bars, Beckley getting some exhibition reps in. Nebraska had 3 season highs this rotation on uneven bars.
Finishing off with that dismount.
Did a lot of extra gymnastics in that exercise. Took a bit of time to get into the rhythm, and then obviously the unexpected fall. The unexpected keeps unfolding here in Lincoln. Can the Cornhuskers hold on to their lead at the halfway point? We'll be back with more soon.
I could have never imagined doing what she's doing. It is so rare to take an entire year off of your sport and be able to get back competitively rather quickly.
They always say with volunteering that it's like we're giving the kids what they want, trying to give them a super special experience. But honestly, we as the student athletes gain so much more.
Don't miss stories on Isabel Saikon and Gianna Gertis. On the Beam premieres tomorrow night on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. We are halfway through action here in Lincoln. The unexpected twists and turns on and off the apparatus continue. Emma, we saw some interesting highlights and some lowlights from both teams in that rotation.
Yeah, no, we had 3 season highs on bars there for Nebraska. They were aiming to get to that 49 above, but they just fell a little bit short, but I think they're still going to be happy with what they put out there today. We look over at Minnesota. They had a couple under-rotated 1.5s. It seems like they all were having very similar issues, just getting that block and finishing that 1.5 so that they can take that step forward or even maybe that stick, and a little bit off to the side. But when that starts to happen, especially during the beginning of the lineup, it's really hard to get that momentum going, and it seems like they had a little bit of a harder time picking that up and moving forward. But I have confidence that they're going to be able to pick this up on floor. You know, floor is one of those really fun events. It's kind of like a party out there, so hopefully they're able to bring that momentum back and keep it going.
Rotation number 3 coming up. It'll be Minnesota on floor and the Huskers on beam after this. Welcome back to Lincoln. We are taking a look at scores from this weekend around the conference. Washington coming through with a victory, as did Ohio State, notching that critical 196 number. But hey, look at Penn State, 197.25. Iowa and Michigan underway in action right now, and don't miss a hot matchup from the Breslin Center in East Lansing tomorrow between the UCLA Bruins and the Michigan State Spartans. Elsewhere in the nation, here they are, the Bruins sitting pretty at number 5 overall in the nation. The Wolverines strong at number 10, despite being defeated by the Golden Gophers last weekend. Otherwise, teams at the bottom of your screen rounding them out. Iowa holding on to the 24 slot to round out the Big Ten representation there. The SEC giving people something to talk about so far this weekend. It's not just the weather, it's also the scoring up and down all around. And this one from Lincoln also has some surprises in store. Current scores here inside John Cook Arena. It's the Huskers on top, 97-825 to Minnesota's 97-250, so nearly 0.6 of a point difference heading into this third rotation.
Whitney Jenks leading us off on beam for the Huskers, getting that pep talk in from beam coach Molly Korth.
You talked about her mentality, attacking every challenge and hardship that's come her way throughout her career. How does that benefit her here on beam?
Especially coming in as a leadoff here on beam, you want someone up there who is confident and assertive and is willing to work through any challenges that come her way up there, and Whitney is that girl for the Huskers. She's very calm, very collected. She responds well in situations like this.
Last time out, Jenks, a few nerves at UCLA on the road in Westwood, 9725, but potential to flirt with that 9-9 mark, career high 985.
For sure, heading into her series here. Super solid handspring layout step out. Nice full turn. Seems to be in control of the routine so far. You can see the team's getting excited in the back there.
Kick over front, you saw just a tiny wobble through her midsection, controlled it through her shoulders. Lead combination here.
Solid. Looking to finish off this routine with a strong dismount. Round off 1.5. Just light hop forward. But I'd say that's a really good start for this Husker beam lineup.
Exactly what you want from Jenks in the leadoff. Here's that 1.5, one more time.
Spots that landing. A little bit of extra power, but she keeps it under control.
Another sigh of relief from Whitney Jenks. A gutsy performance in the leadoff position for the Huskers, getting some words of advice and review from assistant coach Molly Korth. Now over to Lacey Saltzman, the freshman who had the 9-9 on uneven bars.
Heading into this first pass, Lacey. Beautiful double pike. Very high, very controlled landing. It's a great start.
The lunge, an appropriate landing position as long as that front foot stays planted. Great example from Saltzman.
Another controlled tumbling pass there. Beautiful jumps.
Yeah, and that beauty comes into play with the extension through the split position. So you want to see that 180 as well as fully rotated 360 degrees around on that last one.
See the facial expressions in our dance. That's what the judges are looking for. Really selling the routine. Solid double back there to finish off her tumbling.
3-pass routine for Lacey Saltzman in the leadoff. Have to tip the hat there for the freshman.
Overall, that was a really great routine there from Lacey, really setting the tone for this Gopher floor lineup.
Final pass look here.
She's got that height. Maybe her front foot shuffled a little bit back there, but she's in control of that routine.
A key differentiator on that technique. In that replay, we saw her legs squeeze together perfectly, even through the flip-flop. Set a career and season high last week as a freshman, 9.850. We'll see what the judges give Saltzman. Jenks leading off the Cornhuskers with a 9.775. This is Lauren Homicillo in the second spot.
Lauren is another very calm competitor, homegrown Husker, grew up watching Nebraska meets, training here in Nebraska, living out her childhood dream. A triple series here. There we go. That was really, really well done. Don't see those too often in NCAA either. Very difficult.
The more elements in a series, the more difficult it is. It opens the door for risk and reward.
Staying in control there for those jumps.
Homicillo has a career high of a 9.825 on this event, finishing things up in front of the home Husker crowd.
They run and she sticks it.
The landing position from Lauren Homicillo on that 1.5, straight up and down, the right level of absorption. Lots to celebrate there. Here's another look at that triple series.
Back handspring into a layout step out. That angle shows you how small and thin that beam is.
Rises up on that 1.5, and you can see looking behind her shoulder to know exactly where she is in space. Great finish there from Homicillo.
She got that stick chain on.
Wearing it with pride. And talking about pride, something to be proud of is Lacey Saltzman leading off the Golden Gophers with a new career high, 9.875 for the freshman. Over to the grad student now. This is Lauren Pearl.
That's huge. They're going to be looking to build off of that. Keep that momentum going. Beautiful artistry here on floor. In her first pass. Front layout. Jump combination. You see her toes were super pointed, legs were really straight. That's what you're looking for.
Final pass here for Lauren Pearl.
Back handspring double pike. Little bounce. She saved it. Usually, that was a great routine. Overall, very good routine. Usually in that double pike, you're looking for a lunge, a controlled lunge. You don't get a deduction on that, but since she had a little hop there.
Let's take another look. Watch her heels against the 4-incher. Really close to taking off on the 4-incher, but keeps it under control there for Lauren Pearl in the second spot for the Gophers. Some final adjustments in her final season of collegiate gymnastics. Lauren Homicillo matching a career best 9.825 number in the second spot. This is Allie Gard now up third for the Huskers.
Allie Gard is another senior on this Husker team. Looking to take advantage of every opportunity she has this season. Allie is actually a judge as well, which is a fun fact.
Gotta help improve your own gymnastics, knowing what deduction you're looking for.
For sure. She loves the sport so much. Judges in her spare time. Beautiful handspring layout step out.
And when she's not judging, she's drilling series like that flip-flop layout step out for the Huskers.
For sure. And she coaches. She is always in the gym, this girl. She's so passionate.
All things gymnastics for Allie Gard. Working really well. Also nice projection off the beam, taking her eyes up, looking out into the crowd.
Jump connection combination into that side aerial, very solid.
Smooth and solid for Ali Gard as she finishes her beam set up.
That was beautiful. That is a difficult jump combination. Yeah, that switch, split jump.
And not so subtle from Ali up on the beam. She is making sure we know she is stoked with this one and finishes with a stick.
That was amazing. That was probably one of the best beam routines I've ever seen Ali do. And she is so happy. The team is happy. She got this handspring layout step out. Straight knees, watching the beam. She knows where she's putting her feet down there. She's got that big finish. We talked about momentum. It seems like this Husker beam team is really bringing that, carrying that momentum.
She was smiling
Excitement.
after the second element of that connection and finishes in a big way with the gainer pike.
Big smiles.
Last
That's
week,
great.
only a 9.75. We can expect to see that number go up for Ali Gard. Lauren Pearl with some issues on landing that last pass, 9.75. But last week, Leah Gonczarowski had a 9.9. We'll see if she can match or better that here in the third spot for the Gophers.
Making her first pass. Wow, she stuck that. Kind of handspring full in, full out.
Absolutely drills that E-rated tumbling pass. What a way to start for Gonczarowski.
Very difficult, but she made it look easy. Huge front tuck to double tuck. A little bit of extra power there. You see her feet shuffle, but she's staying in control. This is one of those fun routines. You see the girls on the sidelines are doing her dance with her. Lots of energy coming from this floor group.
Switch side, Popa, straddle jump. The finishing touches for Leah Gonczarowski.
They're going to be happy with that routine.
Really exemplary first pass. Talk about the aggression on this landing.
And like we mentioned before, you are allowed to take a step back and lunge if it is in control, but Leah here did not need to do that.
For posterity, stepped into the lunge to keep the choreography going, but no doubt in anyone's mind she stuck that one cold. Ali Gard, I'm scratching my head a little bit, Emma. 9.775 for that routine. Possibly some split position angles. Didn't see it from where we were viewing, but regardless, Nia Kraus steps up in the fourth position.
We're going to keep this momentum going. Nia is from Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. Lots of experience competing in Canada, and then she was actually in Lindenwood. And then once that program closed, she transferred to Nebraska.
Along with Reese Beckley.
Yes, with Reese Beckley. Beautiful series for Nia. Handspring layout, step out.
What an athlete, making an impact at 2 collegiate programs.
You see Nia's facial expressions throughout her routine. She is just so excited to be here and to get to do gymnastics. She's smiling through her whole routine. See a cartwheel there. That is not something that people always do. It is a basic skill, but when the pressure is on, it can be very difficult to keep that under control, and she did that really well.
Big dismount here, gainer touch full.
And she sticks it. Look at that excitement. Oh my goodness.
Nia Kraus telling the crowd in Lincoln, let's go. Big performance there, but a simple skill performed so well.
So well. Something you learn. It's one of the first beam skills you learn, but it is so difficult when the pressure is on to really slow that down. Look at that dismount. Very excited. Can't even keep it contained.
Talked about a difficult week for Nia Kraus coming back from illness. Could have been a victim of a little fatigue, but not on balance beam. What a competitor for the Huskers. Leah Gonczarowski in the third spot, 9.85, so getting the momentum back on track up over that 9.8 mark. Sophie Schwartzmiller up next for the Golden Gophers.
Beautiful artistry to start off this routine. Heading to her first pass. Huge straddle jump there. That was beautiful.
Exactly what you want to see. Sometimes we see those jump combinations and tumbling passes flying all over the place. She went straight up after that Rudy.
Definitely hitting that split position in all of her jumps. Heading into her other pass here. Just a little bit on the line there, but she keeps it in.
Line is inbounds, just don't step over it, and Schwartzmiller handles it well.
She fought for that. She did good.
Last week, a 9.875 behind a strong and clean opening pass like this one.
Look at this jump. It's almost higher than the combination itself. That was awesome.
No slouch, taking that to head height for Sophie Schwartzmiller. Career best of 9.9. Undeniably clean and aesthetic gymnastics. Great way to build that momentum again behind the E pass of Gonczarowski, and then you have kind of on the flip side of things, not necessarily the huge power, but just those finessed elements like the Rudy, like the 1.5 floaty front layout. Great variety from Minnesota in their floor lineup so far.
Next up, we have Olivia Burns on beam. Very calm competitor.
Nia Kraus was right to be very pumped up. It's a 9.875 for her on balance beam.
Huge score. You see her dancing there on the sidelines with that stick chain on. Very excited about that.
Next up will be Olivia Burns. As you see a couple Husker coaches there. Montana Rawl down along the beam, as well as Heather Brink, and Olivia Burns is set to go now for the Huskers.
We're going to see that triple series from Olivia as well here. Very difficult. She makes it look easy. Beautiful handspring lay. A little wobble there on that full turn, but she kept it together.
Saw the shoulder dip down just a bit. Beam has been a struggle for the Huskers to put a full rotation together so far this season. So far, so good through the first 4, though.
They're looking good. And breathing through that routine. Round off 1.5. Slight step forward. Still a beautiful routine.
Some tentative moments from Olivia Burns there, but undeniably solid. It's a hit for the Huskers.
Layout. Very, very difficult. You see her foot was actually a little bit crooked there, but she saved it. And that round off 1.5 dismount.
Taking another look at Olivia Burns, waiting for her number in this third rotation. Remember, it was critical that the Huskers did not look back. They're staying in control of this meet so far, but the Golden Gophers hoping to close with a couple big ones after Schwartzmiller at a 9.85. This is Ariana Ostrom.
I really like the artistry in this routine here. It seems to be having fun. To double tuck there. Seems to stay in bounds. It's a good start. Beautiful jump combination, hitting that full split. Very nicely done combination.
Two salto pass, meeting that requirement for floor exercise. The Rudy right into the back layout for the freshman Ostrom.
The team dancing with her on the sidelines. A very fun routine. The Gophers are going to be happy with that routine.
Great tempo and projection in the choreography for just a freshman. Bodes well for the future of the Gophers. Here's that Rudy back layout step
So
out.
impressive.
Really shows it off. Uses the bounce of the floor to make that layout step out floaty.
That was beautiful.
Hugs all around for Ostrom. Again, as Minnesota tries to make up some ground in this third rotation. On the other side of the floor, Olivia Burns in with a 9.725. Currently their lowest score through the rotation. And Emma, yet again, within just a quarter tenth below that 49 mark, their goal and total. But good news, Isabel Saikon is still left to go in the 6th spot for the Huskers.
Exactly. Isabel Saikon in that anchor spot for the Huskers on beam. Very solid competitor. Very calm. If there's anyone that can do it for this team, it's going to be her.
Talk about your experience with Saikon as a teammate and an athlete. Has she grown into this leadership position?
Definitely. Coming in as a freshman on the team, she was a little bit more timid, not as open, but now here as a junior, she has a lot more experience under her belt. She's a lot more confident, and now in that all-around position for this team. She's grown so much as an athlete, as a leader. It's really, really awesome to see. Getting into her series here. Got that handspring layout, step out. Little balance check, but she stays in control. Breathing through her dance. Solid jump series there.
Really need to call out that switch half. That back leg position was
beautiful.
perfect.
Smiling after that turn there.
Talked about psychonic behavior from Isabel last week at UCLA, and so far this balance beam routine is exactly that. She looks to finish up here.
Spring 1.5, and she sticks it. Look at that.
Emphatic anchor routine, dancing it out for Isabel Saikon. Should easily push them over that critical 49 mark. Great third rotation for the Huskers.
They're gonna be very happy with that. Look at this back handspring, back dive mount. Something else you don't see very often in NCAA.
And the extension here, even through the flip-flop and the layout step out, dips the shoulder, but like you said, Emma, keeps it in control, and it's about finessing, minimizing those deductions, even if you're a little off.
For sure, and she's got that stick chain on to celebrate.
Another stick chain for Sycon in the third rotation. Joining Jordan Leiden as she follows the 9-9 of Ariana Ostrom. Again, Minnesota needs to make up tenths. The pressure's on Leiden here in the anchor.
That 9-9 sets her up for a good routine here as the anchor. She's also the anchor on bars. Front layout full. Beautiful technique in the air. Side aerial there in her dance. That was beautiful. You can see her choreography. She keeps making eye contact with the judges, eye contact with her teammates. That's what they're looking to see. Not just focusing on the routine, but also being present and in the moment throughout every move that you're doing out there.
Leiden has a 9.85 career high. They need one of those here to close out this third rotation for the Golden Gophers.
Beautiful 2.5 to finish out this routine.
Commendable skill selection on that dismount pass. Looks beautiful with her body position in the twist.
Once again, we see those words on her hands. Little reminders throughout the meet. That side aerial is so beautiful. Her lines and that extension is just incredible.
Talk about the lines here again. Rises up in the 2.5. Almost has that diver twist technique with one arm behind her head.
Beautiful gymnastics coming from Jordan.
Can update you with the total for Nebraska over on balance being 49.075 team total, anchored by Isabel Sycon with a 9.825. Kraus was still the highlight there, 9.875 for her routine. And joining the exhibition routines now, this will be freshman Karis Griffin.
This is Karis's third event of the afternoon here for the Huskers, and it's a pretty big deal coming in as a freshman, having such a big impact.
Like we mentioned, some unexpected injuries hitting the Huskers in the preseason. So important for athletes like Griffin to get some reps, whether it's in the lineup or exhibition. Really gritty through that series there.
Working through it a little bit crooked, but making it work. Little balance check again there. But it's so good for someone coming in as a freshman and just getting that experience in the exhibition spot. Looking to move up in the lineup as the years go on. Getting her dismount. Round off 1.5, and she sticks it. She's gonna be happy with that one.
Zeroes in, does the freshman.
Another gymnast on this team to earn that stick chain. Spots the landing when she puts her head over her shoulder there. She knew where she was.
Solid exhibition for Karis Griffin as Heather Brink rallies the team. One more rotation for the Huskers, but not before we take a look at Brooklyn Rowry in the exhibition for Minnesota. A staple of the balance beam lineup, has gone 9.8 here.
Beautiful combination pass there. This music's a lot more powerful and aggressive than the other routines, but the dance really depends on the style of each individual athlete.
Those choreographic flourishes, side aerial, back layout, step out down the side for Rowry.
Next pass here. Another combination pass. Beautiful jumps. Strong finish there for the Gophers.
First pass, definitely the highlight there for Brooklyn Rowry. Exhibitioning here for Minnesota.
So much power.
Yeah, floaty Rudy. I would say add the half twist. The double full has got to be right there. Plenty of height. That closes out the third rotation here from Lincoln. Nebraska over 49 on balance beam. Minnesota has work to do on beam for themselves as we come back after this. Coming up, Saturday night hockey. The Gophers face off with number 2 Michigan State. The puck drops next on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Sparty took it home last night, 3-1. We'll see what happens with the Gophers after this. Speaking of the Gophers, we've got some in the house in Lincoln. And that third rotation, the gap closed a little bit, but a lot to celebrate. Nebraska, Emma, has to be happy with that showing on balance beam, as well as Minnesota on floor exercise. Some bright spots over there, too.
For sure. For Nebraska, that was 5 season highs on beam during that rotation and a season high team score on beam. They're going to be very happy with that. They broke that 49, which is what they were looking to do. And then for Minnesota, that was also 4 season highs on floor and their season high team score on floor. So both these teams really stepping it up after that third rotation, closing that gap. Only 3/10 within each other now. So this last event is going to be tough.
Fourth rotation going to be critical, and Coach Heather Brink told us earlier this week she felt they had the most work to do on floor exercise. So the Huskers have to rally behind trying to close things out here at home in Lincoln. It'll be the fourth rotation. Nebraska up by 3/10 over number 14 Minnesota. A thriller for the Skurs. Fourth rotation getting underway here, looking at the warm-ups. Minnesota will be on balance beam, trying to close this out, come from behind and take it away from the Huskers, who are comfortably in control after 3, up by 3/10. Getting a look at Isabel Saikon, the only all-around competitor we have today in a league of her own, but solid numbers across. She's been building since that 9.75 on vault with a pair of 9.825s. In this third rotation, Minnesota heads to a very comfortable event for them, ranked 10th in the nation, a season high of 49.425. So their potential to differentiate themselves from the Huskers evident here, but they'll have to be at their best. We mentioned earlier as well, these dual meets do have impact on seeding for the Big Ten Championships. There'll be 3 sessions of competition throughout that weekend in March. Someone who's very familiar with the Big Ten Championships is that woman right there, recent graduate Maya Hooten, now serving as an assistant coach for her alma mater. 9 career perfect 10s. Some iconic routines from Maya Hooten in her history at the PAV. Interestingly, though, Emma, she's transitioned to focusing on beam, an event she really didn't compete that much on. But talk about how that can be a difference between an athlete and what you're able to coach and convey.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't always necessarily just go hand in hand, especially someone who's watched beam for so long on the sidelines. You know, you get to learn what works, what doesn't work, what they need to do. And then being a former athlete who just recently retired as well, she knows how to connect with those athletes. She knows what they need to hear before they go out there, how to help them, how to maybe help them with little adjustments, whatever it may be. She's really able to relate and bring it down to their level, which is so beneficial for a team, especially on an event like Beam, which can be so up and down.
Maya Houghton's career storied throughout her time in Dinkytown. And like you mentioned, that connection to now serve as a coach for the athletes you were teammates with last season. There's just a different type of vibe and relationship there, and it's been working for Houghton and her Beam squad so far this year as we take a look at their lineup. Good mix of some youth right at the beginning, but then they get into some experience to finish out the last 5 spots.
For sure, and with Beam being one of their best events, we're looking for a really great showing here from this Minnesota team.
Jordan Leiden in the anchor position. We mentioned it before, but Jenny Hansen has been thrilled with her performance and what she's been giving to this team in her junior year. The other end of the spectrum, it's the youth of the Gophers. Ariana Ostrom, a career high 985 number you see there, getting some last minute words of wisdom from Gopher great Maya Houghton, and the green flag is up for Ostrom, and this 4th rotation is underway.
It's a great Beam song. The music's calm and typically helps the gymnast stay focused. Solid handspring layout step out there to start off this routine.
Yeah, you can tell by the speed of those skills, she was going aggressive.
Beautiful turn. We mentioned it's a basic skill, but it's not always easy to do those basic skills under pressure.
That has been a highlight for me, that 180 split position on both, that leap and jump.
It's beautiful extension. Another beautiful combination there. Very, very clean lines.
Just a subtle shoulder drop, but again, finesse that, trusted for strength and into the dismount.
Solid lead-off routine there for Minnesota.
And a hug from Houghton for Ariana Ostrom. Look at these leaps.
Toes, look at, she's spotting where the beam is. She knows where she needs to put her feet down.
Gainer, layout full, and look at that hip position, almost flares it out. Exactly the position you want to achieve. No body position deductions there. Great start for the Gophers and Ariana Ostrom. Moving over to the Cornhuskers, they'll finish on floor exercise. Here's Allie Gard.
Allie must be very excited after that really solid beam routine. We're gonna see 3 passes from Allie as well. Turn this off. Double tuck. Beautiful jump connection there.
Gard, 9.7 last week at UCLA, but has gone as high as 9.825. Critical that she starts momentum in a positive direction for Nebraska here.
Another good, solid pass for Allie. Like we mentioned when she was on beam, Allie is a gymnastics coach and a gymnastics judge. She has that experience in all levels in the sport. She knows what she's looking for and she knows what she needs to do.
Needs to bring it home with this double pike dismount. Difficult last pass. Here it is.
She nails it. Look at that excitement on her face. She knows that's what she needed to do.
Excellent showing in the first routine of the 4th rotation. Final pass here. It's the double pike.
Spots that landing. Big reaction there. She's going to be happy with that.
Undeniable smile of Allie Gard. after that floor performance to cap off her day. Hug from assistant coach Molly Korth. Ariana Ostrom doing her job as the leadoff. It was the 9.85 for the freshman as we move to the grad student, Gianna Gertis.
We spoke to Gianna Gertis before the meet, asked her what this year meant for her coming back and how it's different than the other years. And she said it meant so much to be able to spend so much time with her teammates. She has that experience under her belt, so she's able to share that with those girls. And it's been a great resource for them.
Gertis sets up for the series here.
A little wobble there, but kept it under control.
That's a great example. Didn't absorb the beam, almost kind of reverbed off of it. Needs to settle in a little bit, find her rhythm. See the deep breath there for Gertis.
She has a fun story as well. She took that year off, went to coaching gymnastics, and she shared with us that she learned so much. Go balance check there. So much through that experience, coaching level 4s, getting that experience, knowing how to really break down a skill, and she said it's really helped with her basics.
So critical in gymnastics to have that foundation of basics training. Makes everything easier. We'll see how she handles the dismount here.
She sticks it.
Great absorption there. Taking another look at the series. Watch her legs on this element. Yeah, that back leg super stiff and almost gets a little bit extra energy, not absorbing down into the beam as she could. High fives all around for the graduate student, Gianna Gertis. As we quickly join Olivia Burns, another busy Husker in Lincoln today. She's following the leadoff 9.725 from Allie Gard. Likely some dynamics deductions there. Chest a little low on that dismount. Second skill in the salto pass needed to rise. Here we go with Burns.
Beautiful double pike there. It's a very fun routine for Olivia. And her second pass. Little rebound there on that double tuck.
This is unexpected from Olivia Burns. Looks like she stung something in her lower leg. She's making a healthy choice to sit down, get some attention from the staff. First pass here. Actually, her second pass.
See, she rolled her ankle there.
Yep, and you know immediately try and put pressure back down on it, encouraging that she is walking off, again, getting the attention she needs, and have to commend Olivia Burns on a solid and healthy decision after what we saw in slow-mo replay.
Now on beat for Minnesota, Sarah Morale.
Now moving over to Sarah Morale. So the Huskers will have an energy and momentum shift. Gertis, a 9.7, so drop down in scores. Morale will feel the pressure here.
Little balance check there on that full turn.
She's the reigning Big Ten balance beam champion. Unfortunately, did not see that in that championship performance. Leg comes up, off balance there. She's fighting.
Nice connection there. And refocus. Get that momentum going again for this beam lineup. Great jump combination there.
No doubt, 180 and fully rotated in the straddle three-quarter. Back in control. Morale will finish up.
Sticks that dismount. Strong finish there for this beam routine.
Floaty gainer full again. Gritty performance. This was a highlight. Look at those feet pointing all the way through the salto. There's a little bounce there, but the feet don't come up and move. Some points of emphasis that she knows she could improve. Important for the Gophers to stay fighting on balance beam right now, especially after what's happening to Nebraska over on floor exercise. Emma, if you were in this position and I was talking to you on the sideline, I would say start fresh.
Exactly. Those mistakes happen, unfortunately, in the sport. Honestly, I would say it probably impacts both teams as well. Didn't directly impact that Minnesota team, but you know, you can feel that shift in the vibes here. So Reese Beckley here, the senior, looking to come back, bring the energy back, and get this floor lineup back on track. And if there's one girl that can do it, it's Reese Beckley. Very experienced.
Talked about Reese's journey to Lincoln, a former member of the Lindenwood University gymnastics program that disbanded a couple years ago. She came over to the Huskers program with Naya Kraus. Had a bit of a delay given the partial routine that the judges saw in the second spot from Olivia Burns with that apparent ankle roll, but here we go. Reese Beckley trying to right the ship and get the vibes right as she's up third for the Huskers.
Looking to get this team back on track. Reese Beckley is a performer. Her floor routine is very fun, very into it. Beautiful start. And that excitement, it radiates off the floor.
It's another example of an E-rated element. Front double full as the first pass. But the eye contact.
Team dancing with her on the sidelines, helping her through this routine. Oh. Big smiles from Beckley.
Exactly the energy she is needing to bring for the Huskers here. Through two solid passes and just showing it off at the end here.
This is exactly what this Husker lineup needs. Bring them back on track. Very nicely done. She's going to be happy with that.
Gonna take another look at this 1.5 front full.
Ankle moves a little bit there, but she stays under control.
High fives and congrats. Again, getting the energy where it needs to be. Reese Beckley handles it well. Another 9-7 for Sarah Maraw on balance beam. Lauren Pearl, she'll be aiming for that career high or better, and the Gophers need it now.
Off there on that series, but she brings it back in.
We talked about the experience in this Gopher lineup. Would venture to say maybe a younger competitor or someone less seasoned may have had errors in these elements, bigger than what we're seeing, but Pearl is a fighter here.
You can tell even in the way that she is doing that presentation throughout her dance elements. She's confident up there.
Really big setup there for that front aerial, and I almost feel like it changed the rhythm a little bit. She was working with such great flow, and then it was a little disrupted there. Unfortunate fall for Lauren Pearl as she'll look to finish up.
Little hop back there on that dismount. Give her so right. Sometimes when you go into a skill and you try too hard, you end up doing something or going side that you're not planning on.
And the first foot that planted there, you saw it was already shifted over to the side. And usually your first point of contact informs where the rest of your body is going to follow. So it was almost a lost cause right at the beginning there. Unfortunate for Lauren Pearl because she projects so nicely. Her upper body carriage and presentation are lovely. Joining.
Saikon having so much fun out there. I don't know if you just caught that walk onto the floor. You ever seen that like dance mom style trend? She just did that to get started here. Our all-arounder this evening.
Here we go with Saikon. Critical that they approach those 9-8 numbers, and that first pass will help them do it.
Solid first pass for Isabel. She's so talented and she has so much fun competing. You can just tell. Into her next pass. A little under-rotated there, but she saves it. Another fun fact about Isabel is that her younger sister Abigail is actually committed to the Minnesota Gophers.
All right, that Big Ten rivalry will continue.
We've got two sets of sisters that were on these teams.
Yes, Whitney Jenks.
Whitney and Marissa. Marissa's here on the sidelines with the team. Solid finish there.
Great all-around day for Saikon across 4 events.
Look at this walk-on. See, she's just having so much fun out there.
Great to hear about how she's grown into being a more comfortable and confident competitor and a leader with passes like that easy double tuck.
For sure. She should be so proud of herself. Making it all the way up to competing all around every meet so far this season.
The woes continue for Minnesota on beam, but you have Brooklyn Rowry has a career high of 9.975 on this event. Exemplary technique.
Little balance check there on that series, but nothing too major. Keeping it under control.
And that's going to be an issue. The first element had a very visible deduction, which effectively breaks the connection. And in the judges' minds, they should not be crediting that from my point of view. Solid through the kickover front, though. Back on track for Rowry.
We talk about momentum, and coming back after a fall isn't always the easiest. We're going to finish off this routine strong.
Brooklyn Rowry setting up for a gainer front full off the side, zeroes in. No landing deduction there.
Beautiful dismount. It's another original skill. Very impressive.
Watch this. Usually we see the gainer in the backwards position, but here she goes forwards, front full. That arm actually a little precariously close to the beam from this angle. She's got to move that one over just a little bit, but solid and secure landing for Brooklyn Rowry. Hug there from Coach Jenny Hansen as the Golden Gophers have room to improve. They've been great so far this season on balance beam. Today, apparently not that day. They'll be looking to finish solid with their last athlete up. Reese Beckley in the books with a 9.75 before Isabel Saikon. Still waiting for her number to come in as Whitney Jenks keeps it cool and casual on the sideline.
Whitney Jenks usually competes all around for the Huskers, but tonight she is taking a rest week on vault. This is Sometimes athletes do that when there is a long season ahead, just to stay healthy, stay fresh for this long NCAA season.
Indeed, and talking about being able to take that rest is a credit to the depth that Coach Brink and the rest of the coaches are curating and kind of fostering here in Lincoln.
For sure. We got to see Molly Peterson on vault making her debut on that event as a Husker. Very exciting for her.
Now I'm seeing something interesting from the judges table. I'm seeing a 9.8 start value being flashed on one side of things.
Very interesting.
For Isabel Saikon. So nothing visible there, but perhaps something unplanned happened, and we have her number in at a 9.325. You see the 9.4, 9.25 split between two judges. Minnesota may inquire on the start value of that routine, and I can tell you as Whitney Jenks gets underway, Heather Brink already talking to the meet referee.
Whitney looking to start off strong here. Beautiful first pass. Like I mentioned before, Whitney is such a calm and collected competitor. Always doing her job. Even in a situation when there's a score that comes up right before you go that you guys maybe weren't looking for. It's very valuable. Dancing on the floor there, getting some time to breathe.
Valuable oxygen on board as Whitney Jenks sets up for her final pass here. Assistant coach Montana Rawl clapping in the far corner, looks after this event. Here's how Jenks finishes up.
This is actually the tumbling passes that Whitney competed last season. She hasn't done this routine yet this season from what I remember.
Great to have a few tricks up your sleeve, especially in the long NCAA season. But Jenks finishes up well with this double tuck.
Lots of depth from this athlete. Beautiful double tuck to finish off that routine.
Quickly joining the balance beam routine as Whitney Jenks gets the stick necklace. It's going to be Jordan Leiden anchoring things for the Gophers. Brooklyn Rovry before her, 9.4. Hindered by a lack of a jump combination.
Jordan Leiden anchoring on 3 events today.
Secure through the series for Leiden.
Beautiful presentation up there. Really finishing every movement she is going through. Great finish there.
Long preparation for that 1.5 dismount, but when it can end like that, it's something to be happy about for Jordan Leiden. Anchors and shifts the story of the Gopher rotation. You can see the Gophers still getting behind every routine. Jordan Leiden hugs all around as she closes out her day. Whitney Jenks getting scores back on track for the Huskers, 9.775 total, and the totals you're seeing here are a bit lopsided because we did not receive a score for Olivia Burns, who had to end her routine midway through. So Lauren Homicillo, regardless, needs to go big.
Anyone knows how to go big on floor. It is Lauren Homicillo at career high 9.95 from last season. Beautiful double pike.
Talk about a secure landing. That's the definition.
She just has fun out there. Fun music. Got that team dancing with her on the sidelines. Beautiful second pass for Lauren. Homegrown Husker. She used to compete here in Devaney when she was younger. Was living out her dream, competing here now.
Full circle moment for Lauren Homicillo. She takes advantage of it every time she's out there.
Getting into her last pass, another girl on this Husker team that has a 3-pass routine.
Difficult to maintain that endurance, but Homicillo has looked strong so far.
Beautiful double tuck. Feel the energy radiating off of her and the team. Awesome celebrations there. She's gonna be very happy with that routine.
Strong closer here in Lincoln for Lauren Homicillo. We'll wait for the number there. We'll have one more exhibition today from Emma Slevin.
Emma Slevin is very, very experienced from Ireland. Beautiful back dive mount there. I actually used to compete against Emma. The first time we met was at the Youth Olympics in Argentina in 2018. Kind of fun being able to reconnect with international elite athletes on the NCAA stage.
Gymnastics, a lifetime sport, and it always comes full circle, as we mentioned before. Looking at that number there, 985 in the corner for Lauren Homicillo. The high for the Huskers on floor today. You can see those numbers. Minnesota will close out with a 195.075. Still in the midst of the exhibition here. And regardless of what happens with that Isabel Sycon score that I'm keeping an eye on, the Huskers have already done it, upsetting the number 14 Golden Gophers here, enjoying the comforts of home. 195.325.
That's huge.
Talk about that momentum shift, Emma. Got to be big at this point in the season.
For sure, especially coming off of Olivia's floor routine there. I'm really impressed with how the team was able to pick that energy back up, get that momentum going. Big shout out to Reese Beckley for being able to bring that energy and get this team back on track to finish off this rotation.
Gutsy performance, and again, looking at the routine and exhibition for Emma Slevin. Another option that the Gophers have in the bank.
Emily Frost making her floor debut this season.
Huskers cheering her on. Reminder that we will wrap it up here from Lincoln. Final results, Minnesota 195.075 to Nebraska's 195.325. Coming up next, we'll throw it to the studio. It's going to be Big Ten hockey after that. Minnesota versus Michigan State. For our entire crew, producer Jim Ressler, and for Emma Spence, I'm Evan Heider. Good night from Lincoln, and we'll look forward to more gymnastics all season long on Big Ten Network.